Dogs. What do they be seeing? When you're playing with your dog, and obviously I'm saying this because I have the beautiful, the always well behaved Carmela. She's actually, I'm standing up right now doing another standing podcast. She's sleeping beneath me. Took her on a good walk today, about a mile. Did about a mile today for her walk. And she's sleeping right underneath me right now with, I want to say three balls in the vicinity of her, all yellow, which I think is interesting. Interesting, which I'll talk about later. So playing with her because her number one toy is a tennis ball. It is not, I mean, you could give her really anything, and it's still not going to be her favorite compared to a tennis ball. And particularly yellow tennis balls, which I thought was interesting. We do have other balls which are orange, but she doesn't play with those ones as much as she does the yellow ones, which I thought was fascinating. And it led me to want to discover and look into this topic more. So, through the eyes of your dog, owners who want to better understand their canine companions must recognize that dogs see the world from a different visual perspective. The differences begin with the structure of the eye. The retina is the light sensitive portion of the eye. The structure is located in the back of the inside of the eyeball. The retina contains two types of light sensitive cells, rods and cones. Cones provide color perspection or perception and detailed sight, while rods detect motion and vision in dim lights. Dogs have rod dominated retinas that allow them to see well in the dark. Along with superior night visions, dogs have better motion visibility than humans have. However, because their retinas contain only about 1/10 the concentration of cones that humans have, dogs do not see colors as humans do. So, hence why dogs seem to be really good at catching balls, and they seem to be very good at being able to catch balls, particularly in their mouth, which is something that very hard for humans to do when it comes to motion. So now just I guess apparently those movies about Airbud are technically real. They would be great athletes. Dogs see like a colorblind human. Most people think that a person who is red or green colorblind cannot see any color, but there are variations of color blindness. Most people have vision that is trichromatic, three color variations. People who are red, green colored blind are dichromatic, two color variations. Dogs' retina can distinguish two colors. These colors are blue, violet, and yellow. Dogs can also differentiate between shades of gray. Dogs are unable to recognize green, yellow, orange, and red. Interesting. Dogs use other cues such as smell, texture, brightness, and position rather than relying solely on color. Seeing eye dogs, for example, may not distinguish between a green or red stoplight. They look at the brightness and position of the light. This, along with the flow and noise of traffic, tell the dog that it is the right time to cross the street. How a dog's eyes are set determines the field of view as well as depth perception. Prey species tend to have eyes located on the sides of their head. This gives the animals an increased field of view and allows them to see approaching predators. Predator species like humans and dogs have eyes set close together. Human eyes are set straight forward, while dogs' eyes, depending on the breed, are usually set at a 20-degree angle. This angle increases the field of view and therefore increases the peripheral vision of the dog. Increased peripheral vision compromises the amount of binocular vision. Binocular vision occurs when the field of view of each eye overlaps. Binocular vision is necessary for depth perception. The wider set of eyes that dogs have, less overlap and less binocular vision, thus less depth perception. So they can't see as far. However, dogs' depth perception is best when they look straight ahead. This is not an ideal situation as their nose often interferes. Predators need binocular vision as a survival tool. Binocular vision aids in jumping, leaping, catching, and many other activities fundamental to predators, or in Carmela's case, catching a ball. In addition to having less binocular vision than humans, dogs also have less visual acuity. This is the big difference. Humans with perfect eyesight are said to have 20/20 vision. This means we can distinguish letters or objects at a distance of 20 feet. Dogs typically have 20/75 vision. What that means is they must be 20 feet from an object to see it as well as a human standing 75 feet away. Certain breeds have better visual acuity. Labradors, commonly used as seeing eye dogs, are bred for better eyesight and may have vision closer to 20/20. If you're silently standing across the field from your dog, don't expect him or her to recognize you. He'll recognize you when you do some sort of motion particular to yourself. She may also recognize your presence by his outstanding sense of smell and or hearing. Because of the large number of rods in the retina, dogs can see moving objects much better than they can see stationary objects. Motion sensitivity has been noted as the critical aspect of canine vision. Much of dog behavior deals with posture and appropriateness. Small changes in your body posture mean a lot to your dog. Dog owners need to modify training based on this fact. If you want your dog to perform an action based on a silent cue, we suggest using a wide sweeping hand or arm motion in order to cue your dog. When dogs go blind, owners often wonder if the dog's quality of life has diminished to the point where they are no longer happy. Humans deal well with being blind, and humans are much more dependent on their eyes than dogs. Blind dogs lead happy lives as long as they are comfortable. The owner may have to make some adjustment in the pet's environment, however. Some of these adjustments include fencing the yard, taking leashed walks, and not leaving unusual objects in the dog's normal pathways. Oh, I just bumped into her. Obviously, most blind dogs cannot navigate stairs very well. So the eyesight is, and I'll get into it in actual second. They're better at seeing motion, better at seeing in the dark. However, they can't really see too far ahead. And they also really, if you're not moving around, if you're not dancing, if you kind of stand still, you don't go invisible to them, obviously, but kind of blend into the background a lot more. All right. And then that led me to think, oh, can they actually see in the dark? Like when it's nighttime and I wake up and I see my dog looking at me and it's 3 inches away from my face. Usually my first instinct is to get scared, but now I just know that she's looking at me a little bit better. So, yes, dogs can see in the dark, but not in the way that you could see if you use night vision goggles. More studies are needed in order to determine, can these dudes see in the dark? Dogs' eyes are built very much like ours. Like we said before, see fewer colors, they have less depth perception, less visual acuity, and less visual perspective. And that's simply because they're lower to the ground. When it comes to seeing in the dark, dogs have a few anatomical differences that make them better suited to see, survive, and hunt at night. All right, so it talks about, here we go. Dogs have a few natural advantages over humans when it comes to seeing in the dark, including tapetum lucidum. The tapetum lucidum is the reflective tissue beneath the retina. It's found in most mammals and causes the eye sheen in pictures or at night. It serves as a mirror to reflect light onto the retina, thereby enabling dogs to use less light because they use it more efficiently. Rod-dominated retina. Most domestic mammals, including dogs, have retinas that are rod-dominating, meaning the majority of their photoreceptor cells are geared towards seeing at night rather than in the day. Detecting motion and shapes is also enhanced. Wolves most likely have even greater nocturnal vision as their retinas incorporate a greater ratio of rod processing cells. Larger pupil size. Dogs have much larger pupils than humans. The pupil dilates and constricts to control the amount of light entering the eye. The larger the pupil, the more light that enters, and thus greater potential for vision. In addition to these anatomical advantages, a dog's ability to detect motion at greater distances is far superior to ours, and this most likely holds true even in dim light. A study that involved police dogs found that the most sensitive dogs could recognize a moving object as far as 900 meters. When that same object was stationary, they could only detect it at a distance of 585 meters or less. Do they need a night light on at night? I mean, they're not gonna have one if I don't have one, so I'll answer that one for you right there. Can dogs see better than cats at night? Cats are adept at nocturnal vision and can see even better in the dark than dogs, of course. They're much more sensitive to light, and their tapetum lucidum reflects a significantly greater amount of light. Cats also have a vertical split pupil that not only protects the retina in bright light, but also allows more light to enter the eye in the first place. Very, very cool. And then here is just some more bigger graphs to kind of show you what dogs typically see. So right in this area, right here, a lot of yellow. Yeah, the color vision of dogs is similar to a person suffering from red-green color blindness. Red, yellow, and green are perceived as one hue. Blue and purple are perceived as a second hue. Cyan and magenta are perceived as a neutral gray. And you can see these yellow tennis balls that Carmela likes to play with. She can see them differentiated between many of the other things that we have in our house, such as our orange balls. She'll see those as a darker form of yellow, which is kind of cool to see. So I wonder what she sees between the difference. But as she's sleeping right now, she has one right on top of her face as she's sleeping. Very cute. And then visual acuity, you can kind of see this right here. They just can't see as well as us. But here's a cool thing that I wanted to show you. This is Wolfram Alpha widgets. She just woke up from her nap. Oh, let me rub the tummy. There you go. There you go. Wolfram Alpha widgets. And this is a dog vision simulator. So apply dog vision to an image of this has ladybug, but we will do of a tennis ball. Plug it into here, submit. Let's see what our result is. That's pretty cool. All right, so this is what we see. All right, I guess we just got to do it like this. That's what we would see. And that's what a dog would see. You can see the difference in colors too. So the balls are still yellow, but the writing is now yellow. As you can see right here. Crazy to think about. That these things have this vision like this. All right, now let's get into a little bit of the hearing of these wonderful, beautiful animal dogs. Have you ever wondered why dogs' ears perk up and seem to hear something even when you hear nothing, or why dogs start barking at the door minutes before the doorbell rings? Dogs have much more sensitive hearing than humans, hearing sounds 4 times farther away than we can. They can hear higher frequency sound, can more easily differentiate sounds, and they can pinpoint the exact location of the sound. Sound is caused by air vibration. The more vibrations per second, the higher the sound and higher the frequency. For example, a double bass makes low frequency booming sounds, while a tin whistle makes high frequency piercing sounds. All right. Dogs can hear sounds up to 50,000 vibrations per second. A dog whistle usually creates a sound at greater than 20,000 hertz or 20,000 vibrations per second, which explained why dogs respond to dog whistle while it appears silent to us. So why do dogs hear better than humans? The ears of dogs are controlled by up to 18 muscles, while humans are equipped with only 6 and can only move their ears slightly, if at all. Thus, dogs can tilt and rotate their ears to funnel the sound into the inner ear much more efficiently. In addition, the shape of some dog breeds' ears are such that they amplify the sound. The canine ear canal is considerably longer than in humans. Muscles allow it to finely tune the position of this ear canal so that it can localize a sound, hear it more accurately, and from further away. But before you get carried away in awe of your canine friend, a cat's hearing is even better. We get it. We get it. We get it. All right. All right. Lot of propaganda towards the cats at the end of these articles. I'm a fan of cats, but we're talking about the hearing and the sight of dogs. So let's stick on that topic. And I kind of want to go back to this image again to kind of, no, we can't enlarge them like we want to, but the main takeaway that I have is the difference in obviously seeing you, which is why when we're giving her dinner, we always make her sit down first. And one of the things that I've noticed has been more effective, instead of me standing, not moving at all, and just speaking to her, telling her to sit down, I'll move my arm. I'll do sit, boom, or I'll move my arm, my hands, my fingers in some fashion. And she tends to react better to when I do that. And now, is that because of my hand movement? I would most likely say it is, but it also could be depending on the time of the day, depending on how much she's eaten, how hungry she is, how willing she is to submit for her food. That's also a factor as well that should not go unnoticed. But I do think it is important to try and, if you are going to communicate with your dog or attempt to, I always like to let them smell the hand first and then start to pet. Even with her, even though we're very comfortable with each other. Now, if she's sleeping, obviously I can't do that. So I just start rubbing her, and like all golden retrievers, she's the sweetest dog ever. So she'll never try and attack you, or she never gets really startled or anything. So she is straight chilling.